We are live for the Creator Town Hall for yet another week, and I was going to bury the lead. I was going to do a big, dramatic, flourishing introduction, but you already saw the thumbnail, so you already know that I got Sara Nguyen waiting in the wings. So why would I leave her waiting any longer? Hello, Sara. How are you?
Hello. It's always great to be on the Pete John Show. No, it's not the Pete John Show, but
We're going to rename it that. I think you called it that last time. I think it's going to officially be the Pete John Show from now on. I don't have enough of an ego to call it the Pete John Show, but we'll call it the Sara Nguyen Show featuring Pete Johns, and we'll go with that, shall we? What's been going on in your world? You've been doing lots of live streams and lots of content over on your channel. Do you want to give anyone that may not know you and your wonderful channel a little bit of an insight into what goes on over there?
so I help content creators build their business and grow their channels using video, and particularly on social media, YouTube and live streaming's my jam. I believe in the power of live streaming. I love how it's democratized content. I love how it's democratized video and production, and I'm all for helping, creators make a livable income from their content. So that's ties really well into today's topic, Pete, because today we're talking a bit about money. It can be a bit taboo and a bit, shh, don't talk about it. I think we should talk about money.
Well, it's so weird, isn't it? Because we're Australian, and there's something about Australians that we don't talk about money. It's a bit like, no, mate. That's a bit hush hush. We don't talk about that, and especially in the creator space, is that something that you've come across, that people seem to poo poo and like almost look down on you if you're a creator and you also want to feed your family and keep the lights on in your house? Is that something you've come across yourself?
I think I've seen that kind of attitude. I've seen people say things like, oh, you shouldn't put ads on your YouTube videos because that's selling out. And it's like, well, is it really? Like, for the pennies that you get, is it really selling out so that you can get a little bit of gain from that? And I think it needs to evolve that. Instead of looking at it as, oh, these creators are just, putting ads everywhere, it's like, well, how about thinking of it as these creators are giving value and there's an exchange, and where there's this exchange, they should be rewarded for their efforts. How about that? So I think we need to change the conversation. And I think, like, you talk about this a little bit of the fake gurus and the, Mercedes and Ferrari hiring gurus who are horrible and sleazy. But just because they're horrible and sleazy doesn't mean that the other creators are. There are plenty of creators who don't do that, who generate a lot of value, and I don't think we should all be lumped in the same bucket as these Ferrari renting gurus.
Yeah. We'll talk about fake gurus and my love of the entrepreneur later. But it is a very valid point, and what we're going to cover today, and Sarah's on the hook here for this one because she's going to be providing a lot of the information here, and she recently did a video, in fact, and I searched Sara Nguyen money in YouTube. And it pops straight up. It pops straight up here, which is how to make money on YouTube with a small channel. And again, because we're talking creators here, a lot of folks here are musicians, are video creators, are people in the creative space. A lot of us started out with small channels, and I know I definitely did. And I know that there's a lot of people with much larger channels than even you or I have these days that continue to use these same sort of tactics and things to generate income from what they actually do. And again, I want to make sure that making money is not the four-letter word that sometimes it actually is, that we actually have that. So where do we want to start here? Because I said to you, look up, Sara, I'm going to make you do all the work, and you've already done this topic. So I'm pretty much just going to throw to you and make you give us a whole bunch of things. So before we say hello to the wonderful folks who are here live, why don't you just jump straight on in and talk about one of the ways that as a creator you can actually monetize your craft.
Well, Pete, if you put my slides on, I can talk about 5 ways that we can monetize.
Love it. This is why I have Sara on, because she's so prepared. I just come in here, I'm just like, what are we talking about? Sarah's like, I've got slides, Pete. It's fine. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to put them up there. So there you go. Talk us through these, because these look very colourful and very cool.
Thank you for it's a template I purchased, so I can't take all the creative credit. I'm like, no, I'm this fantastic designer. No, no, it's all a template. In my view, there are lots of ways to make money on YouTube, some better than others. So I kind of group them into what I feel are like the five
Yeah.
main categories I think that creators, particularly smaller creators, can make money from YouTube. And we'll talk about them top level, then we'll go through the key ones later.
Yeah.
There's obviously the YouTube, partner program and YouTube AdSense, which everyone salivates to qualify for
Dribble, dribble,
and
dribble.
get into. And I get it. I really get it. It sounds very seductive. It sounds like, ooh, you just put videos on YouTube, then it's going to like rain money and swim in a pool like Scrooge McDuck and retire on an island, because I'm sure that's how it works. And the
Tell me
reality
wrong.
is that, like, as you know, Pete, there's a eligibility criteria in order to qualify for YouTube AdSense, which is 1,000 subscribers, which is not too hard to get, really. But it is 4,000 hours of watch time, which is like almost 250,000 minutes, right? That's a lot of watch time in 12
Don't
months.
say it like that. How many seconds, Sarah? That's depressing. 250,000 minutes.
It's a
love
lot
it,
of
actually.
minutes. I remember someone posted, "Oh, I did 4,000 minutes. Am I eligible yet?" And I was like, "No, mate."
Quarter of a
Like,
million. Talk to me when you're at 250,000.
it's like, no, not yet, but keep going, keep going. Like, so like YouTube AdSense is something that people salivate for, but they don't realize, one, it takes time to qualify for. Some people qualify faster than others. And you also got to remember, for the most part, people are just getting started on YouTube. So they're learning how to create videos, how to edit, how to publish. And so these things just take time in addition to getting the views and growing and getting that watch time. So I've seen some people qualify really quickly, but for majority of people, it just takes time.
Yeah,
So I think
totally.
that's just people just need to kind of be okay with that and not, beat themselves up and not, get like depressed because they're not qualified in 6 weeks. It's like, well, that's not
Yeah.
really normal.
And look at it, and I know, especially for musicians, and I know a lot of the audience that we have on this channel are musicians. And the reason we get Sarah on here is that she's not specifically around the music creator, but she's more of a general creative vibe and live streaming. But as a musician, it can be probably even harder. But that's where I think some of the other things. So when we dive into the other four things that I know you're going to talk about,
Yep.
that's where I think some people that release music just think about, hey, I can only put out one song a month or one song every 2 months. How am I going to get to this 1,000 hours of watch time and this 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time by just doing this? And if that's my only revenue that I'm getting from my music on YouTube or as a creator, how's that going to work? So I know that there's more things that you can tell folks about. So we should probably dive into those, shouldn't we?
Yes. So we've also got good old affiliate programs. So the concept of affiliate programs is you sign up as an affiliate and then you make a commission based off when people purchase off your link. Like the Amazon Associates is a very popular one. And, there are lots of programs that, I know you're a part of, I'm a part of,
Yep.
that we can make money off. And it really depends on what you're an affiliate for and how aligned it is to your channel. But for the most part, affiliate commissions are like a percentage, a very small percentage. And it's not something that, once again, that you start having money, no money angels, where like it's not.
I want a
not one of
money
those-
angel.
I want a money angel too. But it's one of those nice to have things. And if you rely on it purely, I think it's one of those things that's really hard to control as well. So I think you kind of lump it into the same bucket as YouTube AdSense of, okay, let's aim for it. Let's work towards it, but let's not make it our only goal, because it's also very fickle, right?
Yeah.
It depends, like there's a lot of things that it depends on. It depends on how good the actual program or service that you're offering is, on, the pricing, the product, the reliability, and you don't have control over all of that. All you can do is promote it. All you can do is, talk about it, but you don't have any control over, hey, is this thing you're pushing, like, are people having a crappy experience when they're coming to actually use it? Like, that's not within your remit. Like, so it's one of those things where I'm like, it's a nice to have. And I know some people do very, very well with affiliate, marketing and affiliate stuff. But I think it's, once again, like if you focus only on that, it's kind of like, oh, I'm getting very nervous for you. Like, I'm getting very, very nervous for you. Like, particularly if you're
Yeah.
not having other income streams.
And it is tough because, as you say, it really depends on it. And I've come and gone on this because when I first got into creating, I thought, who am I to tell other people what to buy and what to
Mm,
use and how to do it? And it really isn't about that because there are people that do this wrong. And I know we'll talk. We alluded to it before. The dodgy brothers, like let's like drive people in. There are creators that literally don't know anything about a product or a service. They just want to promote whatever is going to pay them an affiliate commission. And hopefully, we both agree on the fact that that is not the right way to go. But if you use something
mhm.
and you can recommend it to other people to use it as well, why wouldn't you join the affiliate
Yes.
program? So I know one that you use a lot in particular, and I've got them here. Oh, I've lost them now.
Oh,
There they are. It's Canva. So
yes.
for a graphic design, I've put mine there. There you go. For graphic design,
Yep.
you are a Canva creative consultant. No, what are you? What's the CCC stand for? I
Certif
forgot now.
Canva
Certified.
certified creative.
There you go. So you
You
are
are
a
too.
Canva. I am too. So we are Canva certified creatives, and you've done a whole bunch of videos here, all about how to use Canva,
Yes.
and you also have an affiliate program. So that's not only something that you're passionate about, that you can share videos about, that you can make YouTube revenue from the advertising that goes on those videos. But guess what? As soon as you recommend Canva and someone goes, "Hey, Sarah's using Canva to create some cool stuff as a creator here. If I want to use them to create album art or YouTube thumbnails or t-shirt designs, maybe I can actually make something from that." So if you go over to Sarah's channel, which is down in the description and it's linked right over there, then you can actually view these videos. And I'm sure if we go into one of these, I'm going to put you on the spot here, Sarah. But if I go into this one, this is 3 years ago, so no pressure at all here. We'll jump in here, but I'm sure if we come down here, there will be something in your description. Oh, I've got to go show more. There we go. There'll be something in your description here. There it is.
Oh,
Look at this. If
look.
we want to get Canva Pro for free for 45 days, we click this link, and guess what? We're straight into Sarah's affiliate site. So you join up to Canva. I'm already a Canva member. So sorry, I'm not eligible for this because I already use Canva. But if you're not already a Canva user, guess what? You're using it. And it's the same. If you're a musician, if you're using DistroKid to release your music,
Hmm.
DistroKid have a referral program. You'd be absolutely astonished how many places have affiliate programs or referral programs that you can actually make some money from. And it doesn't have to be hundreds or even thousands of dollars a month. It could just be $10 or $20 here and there. Is it right to say all your eggs in one basket is bad? And being a creator is all about finding different ways to diversify your
I
income,
think
perhaps?
so. I think so. And I think it's, as you said, it's important to be aligned to the products so that they're things that you stand behind, right? Because, things that you use. And I wouldn't necessarily promote a product that I don't think is a good experience. Like I turn back, channels who come to me and startups who come to me and say, "Hey, can you do a review?" And then sometimes I try it out. And I'm like, "This is really clunky, and this is not a good user experience. Thanks, but no thanks." And it's like I don't want to promote something that's a crappy experience.
Totally. And at the risk of jumping on my soapbox early, because I will jump on there a bunch of times, but I'm of the opinion that your reputation is worth so much more than any affiliate revenue. So probably
Mm,
the one thing I'd say about affiliate revenue and affiliate advertising and doing any sort of referral program is if you don't believe in it and then you're recommending other people use it, yeah, it's a slippery slope, isn't it, to say use something that you don't actually recommend. So I mean, I use Canva too, and I'm happy to recommend it. I use DistroKid and I recommend it. I know both of us use a lot of different tools that we
yes.
recommend. But if someone comes to you and says, "Hey, if you're a musician, hey, I've got this great new device and it's $20," and you get it and like, this is the biggest piece of crud I've ever used. If you then just throw your Amazon link in your affiliates and just go, "Hey, everyone should buy this thing because it's great," if a bunch of people buy it and then it sucks, guess what? The buck stops with you, and they're going to
Mm.
come back to you on that. So I think it is a slippery. It's a great way to do it, but again, don't just throw every product under the sun there. It is something that you need to be very careful about. But it's a great one, and it's definitely something that. And I like that you've got those two in the box there because I think YouTube and affiliate revenue. I know Jade Star, who's in the chat here, she's done both of these sort of things, and she said it's taken her around 14 months and 350 plus daily streams to have 1,687 subscribers. So she has put in the hard work. So when you're talking about YouTube AdSense, it took Jade like 6 months to get to the 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 to even join the program. And I
Mm.
know that Jade has only just started adding affiliate links and joining the Amazon affiliate program. And she's been successful with that. And again, it's not making her thousands or tens of thousands of dollars every week, but it's all the little bits that add up that can actually help you out there. So, and don't think that, oh, I'm a musician. I think someone said, I've only got 10 subscribers, I've got 20 subscribers. You don't need that many. I think with the Amazon one, you have to make like 5 or 10 sales in your first 3 months. So even if you think that you're going to be able to push it out there to 50 or 100 friends that watch your channel and that like your music, as long as you get a few sales there. And the cool thing about Amazon, and I know you know this, but if you don't know this, it's not just the stuff that you recommend that they buy. It's
Hmm.
anything that they then buy through those Amazon links for the next 24 hours. So if you're thinking, oh no, people are not going to buy the stuff I recommend, guess what? They don't buy that to audio interface that you use, but then they buy some toilet paper, because who doesn't need a lot of toilet paper right now?
Or socks.
Or socks. Exactly. Father's Day is coming up. Socks and jocks.
Yes.
That's what we have in Australia for Father's Day. Socks and jocks. So yeah, whatever you buy, whatever anyone else buys on your through your link in that 24 hours goes to you as affiliate revenue. So it is a good way to go. What else have we got here on this list? Because I'm seeing some other things around here that look rather intriguing.
So sponsorships and brand deals. So I think this is an interesting one because,
Yeah.
you know, I've seen, well, I remember when I first got approached for a brand deal, my channel was actually quite small. I was
Mm.
only around the 500 subscriber mark.
Mm.
And the brand that came to me had just seen me do product reviews of their competitor. And then I was just like, oh, okay. So you like everyone assumes that you have to have massive channels for them to kind of come to you, but actually it's not. It's all about the content that you currently have and how that
Hmm.
aligns with their content strategy and their brand strategy and their exposure strategy. So I think it's a nice thing to have, particularly when they start coming to you, and they do. They all start coming to you. You know, they want you to review their stuff. They want you to promote their stuff, and sponsorships and brand deals can take form in lots of different ways, which is why I've also
Mm.
lumped it as a kind of in the nice to have kind of category, because it can
Mm.
be a little bit distracting, as you know. So it can be, we all get a little bit, and I must confess, I got a little bit caught up in this probably in the last 12 months as well, where it's like, oh, yes, I'll do that. Yes, I'll do that. And then it's like, oh, we
Yep.
didn't agree to that. Like,
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
now I have to deliver it. I've signed the contract and now I have to do it.
Hmm.
Yes. But it's a
Yeah.
nice way where you can get paid for videos, you can get sponsorship for, your live streams or your shows or your podcast. And that's a nice thing to have if it's aligned to you as a creator and a brand and what you stand for and what you do. But I think it's a nice to have one as well.
Yeah, I agree, and I love that you said that. That it's not about the size. It's about the people that you can speak to and the way that
Yes.
you can present your information and the influence that you can have. Because yeah, but I don't know. Look, the influencer word, it's the I word. I hate it almost more than YouTuber. When people say, "Oh, are you a YouTuber?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't like that word." And they're like, "Oh, you an influencer?" I'm like, "I like that word even less. It sounds bad. It sounds like I don't know. It sounds like I'm trying to sell people on things all the time. I'm trying to influence you. It's evil." But yeah, it is true that it doesn't matter if you have 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, a million people watching you. There are definitely going to be people that reach out. Are there any? No, I don't want to scare people with horror stories. We're
Mm.
talking about the positive side of this here. So yeah, when you get brand deals, they can work. Any caveats, any warnings, any things you should think about before you accept, or anything, any mistakes you've made when it comes to brand deals and sponsorships that you could share with folks, perhaps things to look out for when they're starting out, because not everyone's on the up and up. Is the way that I see it sometimes.
I think it's really important to get them to specify the terms, and if they don't do it, you need to. So,
Yeah.
who owns that video, who gets final approval, because a lot of creators get stuck there where they'll create it, put it on their channel, then the
Yep.
brand will ask for it, or they'll ask for them to take it down later, and it's like, excuse me, what? No, like why? Type of thing. So there's these little
Yep.
intricacies where you need to look after yourself. Like you get everyone, particularly with the big brands, right? They're very
Mm.
sneaky. They're very sneaky. They kind of take advantage of
Which
how we're
brands in particular,
starry-eyed.
Sarah?
They take advantage of the fact that we're a bit starry-eyed, and then they
Mm,
kind of take
mm,
advantage of the smaller creators, in my view. So be very careful of what your deliverables are and ownership, like who actually owns that video. So
yeah.
I know it's come back to hurt a couple of creators, larger creators, where they've had big brands ask them to take it down, and it's just like, oh, I would not be
Mm,
happy with that at all. Like,
yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one. I think like anything, and my wife has a great saying that basically it's very difficult to make things too clear. It's very difficult to like over communicate, but
yes,
it's really easy to under communicate and under
yes,
clarify. So
yes.
when you're talking with especially a brand and you're making a brand deal, because I've got into trouble before. I'll admit it here that people have said to me, and when you're starting out, especially the first time you get someone that's going to send you something for free for you to keep, you're like losing your
Woo!
mind. And I know you've had
Yes.
some pretty big brands, the likes of Rode and others that have sent you gear and stuff. Like what you want this stuff? But again, and I'm not saying that Rode did this because they're actually a cool company. They're an Australian company after all.
Mm,
But like, yeah, some of the companies will say, "Oh yeah, we'll send you this free thing," and then they send it to you, and you haven't clarified or specified what you're going to do with it. And they're like, "Okay, so when are you going to put up your really super positive review of our thing that we sent you?" And then you realize and you do the maths and you go, "Hang on, they sent me a $20 piece of gear, and how long is it going to take me?" And I think
mm-hmm.
it was Nick Nimmin. I saw a video of his that said, "Before you consider any sort of sponsored deals, think about what you're getting and what your time's worth." And
Exactly.
even if your time is only worth $5 an hour, I don't care what it is. If you get a $20 piece of gear and it's going to take you 8 hours to record a review and put out a video about that piece of gear, you're not getting a very good hourly rate at that point. So, yeah, free stuff can be quite enticing, but yeah, do your due diligence before you actually accept these things. And as Sarah said, be super clear and communicate really clearly. My default thing now is to say, if someone wants to send me something, I'll say, I would love to check out your product. If it is something that I think that my viewers would like and
Mm,
enjoy and dig, then I will consider doing a video. And that scares off 80% of people. And then the 20% that say, yep, totally cool, it's on its way, they're the companies I know that I'm going to have a good relationship with because they have enough confidence in their product that they're happy to send it anyway. In terms of, because I think you had brand deals and, sorry, I'm going to bring your thing back up here.
oh yeah.
So sponsorships as well. So what's to do with sponsorships? How do you navigate that slippery slope when it comes to, because there's a bit of a difference between just sort of maybe getting a piece of gear or having an affiliate link or something versus someone actually sponsoring a piece of content. Any advice for creators around that when they get to that stage?
I think when brands start sponsoring your videos, it's very exciting. It's like, oh
Yep.
my God, I made it. Like,
Right.
like,
Woohoo, done.
I think normally when they sponsor a video, there will be a contract. And I think
Yep.
read the contract. Like, don't just sign it blindly and click away. Like, read it
What?
very
It's like terms of
thoroughly.
service. You don't read it, you just click accept, don't you? That's how you roll?
Yeah, it's like iTunes. It's like, I accept, yes, you can have my firstborn and you can have the house and you can have the car. Like,
Yep. Yep.
yes, read the terms of the contract, challenge it. Don't be afraid to challenge it. It's like, you know
Mm.
what? I don't want exclusivity because that doesn't work for me. Instead, let's do this. Counter. Don't be afraid to counter. I feel like Mark Cuban on Shark Tank. Counter. What's your counter? Like, don't be afraid to counter. Also, and because they're trying to look after their interests. And you need to look after yours as a creator as well, because there's an
Mm.
exchange. They're paying you, but you're delivering work for them. So you need to agree on what that is in a fair sense.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. It can be, I love that you said that because when you start working and when you say it can be super, I think you said flattering before, like when you
Mm,
start getting these things coming in and don't, for those of you that are sitting there, again, if you're sitting there with 10 or 50 or 100, you'll be absolutely astounded at how quickly these start coming in. And you need to be super savvy about which ones are legitimate and which ones you maybe need to walk past. Like some you'll be able to tell straight away. And the way I look at it is if someone's reaching out to you and they don't put your name in that first little header
mm,
bit, then it's a form letter. And
yep.
look, there's nothing wrong with that. If it's something that's really cool, if they're like, hi, creator, we've noticed your content and your content is really good and we would like to offer to send you thing. Then if thing is something you want, then reach out to the creator and find out. But if thing is not something you want, then you don't have to. But yeah, just be really conscious of that. And I love what you said there about you can push back. And no matter how flattered
Yes.
you are, it's okay to say no. And it's also okay to say yes, but. Like, don't forget you have the but. You can say, I would really love to do this. However, this particular part, and exclusivity is a classic one.
Mm-hmm.
If you're, especially as a musician, if let's just say Taylor Guitars reach out to you and they're like, we would like to sponsor a video of yours, but you can never use any brand of guitar ever again. We're going to give you $1,000. Is it worth $1,000 for you to never use any guitar again? Maybe not. Maybe you can say, I will accept $500, but I guess what? I'm going to play a Gibson and a Fender and whatever else I want to play. So they're the sort of things I think you need to consider before you're accepting some of these sponsorship deals. So
And I also think
very,
like people get to a point where they're like, you know what, I need the money. And it's like, if you need the money that badly, you need to get a job. You need to find another way to like support yourself than selling your soul for like eternity with these brand deals. Like
it,
you're not ready to, be a full-time creator if this is the way you have to go. It's too
It,
stressful
uh,
for everyone.
it is. It's tough. It's stressful. And as you and I know, the comments that you get from people are hard enough without being called a sellout because, hey, you've decided that I only ever go to VPN companies, Sarah. I'm sorry. And I know it's okay. And I know that a lot of people use VPN companies. I'm not going to even mention the name of the VPN companies that a lot of creators are actually sponsored by. But yeah, as soon as you go down that path where you're like, this is nothing to do with what I'm talking about,
Mm.
I think that gets to a bit of a slippery slope. So if again, you just got to look inside yourself and go, is this cool with me? Does this align with my brand and what I'm trying to do? And if it does, cool. If it doesn't, just give it a second thought. I think that's all that I'm saying, and I think that's what you're saying there as well. We haven't said hello to anyone who's been here live. We've been
No, how
ranting for
rude.
25 minutes. How rude are we? Super rude. So I'm going to just say good day. Thomas Gillane had a good comment here before who said that watched a video on a 3D printer companies using very
Ooh.
questionable sponsorship practices. The content creator goes into depth about different techniques they use to dupe creators. Well, yeah.
Mm.
Unfortunately, anytime there's an opportunity to exploit someone or something, then some people, dubious people, will actually choose to do that. So, you do have to be careful. You just have to just brush it with a little bit of truth serum and take everything with a grain or a shaker or one of those big salt flats of salt. Like just apply some salt in some way or another. We'll say hello to the other folks. We've got AK Music who's here. We've got Night Train 1988. We've got Joe Glenn who's here. Hello to you. Orchestra Eclipse is really close to getting 4,000 hours watch time. That's
Woohoo.
exciting. Keep doing that. We've got our friend Gwegwe Karu from Coney Island, Brooklyn, New York. The only thing I know about Coney Island is that where they've got like the big sort of fairground thing out there. I don't know. I don't know much about that.
I do know they
Truth.
reference it in Mr. Robot a lot, Coney
Oh, there you
Island.
go. See, Sarah's a higher level nerd than I am. Just in case you're wondering, Sarah wins the nerd contest all the time. As you can see by the stuff behind her, Sarah's got the far superior background than what I do. Truth about unicorns. Are there any sites similar-minded musicians looking to add subscribers? Well, this is an interesting one, and this is going to take us off on a bit of a tangent here, and maybe it's you know what? I'm just going to call it. I'm just going to make this because we do it at the middle of the show. We'll get back to your wonderfully prepared slides
Hmm.
before afterwards. But I normally do a midpoint motivation, which is like halfway through the show where we just talk about something. And I've not spoken to Sarah about this, and I've just decided to call it this, which is
Oh.
subscribers. So creators, and we've already talked about the fact that you need a certain number of subscribers to get onto the YouTube Partner Program. You potentially need a certain number of followers or people watching your stuff to use affiliate links successfully. Sponsors and people that want to sponsor your channel look to your subscriber count. How important is your number of subscribers to you? And what advice do you have to people who want to grow their subscribers? And we're going to talk subscribers as our motivation point this week. And then I've got a slightly controversial point of view to talk
Oh,
about.
controversial.
Mm.
I know it's like I get it, but I really feel that when I personally was monetized and started making money on the channel, it was when I stopped chasing watch time and subscribers and I focused on the
Mm.
content. I focused on, okay, what content do I need to create? How can I make each video better? What are people searching for? How do we optimize video? And when I stopped, you know, chasing
Yeah.
those subscribers and going, oh no, the video's only got 16 views, and just said, okay, what content can I create? That's when the videos started to take off. That's when they started to grow. And I think
Yeah.
like shift from the subscribers and focus on the content. And that answers most problems. It's like, oh, my channel is getting, not a lot of growth. And it's like, are you releasing stuff frequently? Is the stuff
Mm.
good? Like,
Mm.
focus on the content. And that kind of solves everything in my view.
I like it, and it makes my view much less controversial. Because yeah,
That's
I agree with
disappointing.
you. I know, right? You wanted something a bit, but no, I will say something. I will go the next step, which is that there are good subscribers and bad subscribers. So
Yes.
I think that everyone focuses on the subscriber count as a vanity metric to
Mm,
show that you've got to a certain point or a certain stage. And I get it. Like there's a certain, like you and I have both celebrated milestones of
yes.
subscribers. When you pass 10,000, 20,000, you feel good, and that's a good
Mm,
thing. You're allowed to. I'm going to give you permission to like the number of subscribers you get, but also keep in mind that there's good subscribers and there's bad subscribers. And good subscribers are people that are interested in the quality content that you're putting out
hmm
there, as Sarah just alluded to, that are going to watch your content and that are engaged members of your community. Bad subscribers are people who watch one video and just subscribed and then never watch again
mm,
because they're actually damaging you more than they are. And every time I see a creator say, I've just noticed that 80% of you are not subscribed. I think we talked about this last time here on the channel, that 80% of people are not subscribed and only 20% of you subscribes. Everyone should subscribe. I inherently disagree with that because I think if someone is watching a video to get something, and for you, say someone comes on to watch a Canva tutorial,
hmm
they learn about Canva, they just want to sign up to Canva, and then never going to live stream. So they're not going to watch 90% of your content. Do you
mm,
want that subscriber, or would you rather that they come in, watch your Canva video, click your affiliate link, sign up so that you get some revenue that way, and then leave? Because if they're a subscriber and they're not watching a single video for the next year, guess what? That damages you. That damages you.
exactly.
That
Doesn't
damages
help
your
you.
channel. Doesn't help you in the slightest. So I think this race that I see people of the like, I just need to get my number up. And it happens early on mostly. So when you're at
Mm,
50 and 100 and 500 and 1,000, I understand it. You just want that number to go up. But I think what I want to say here, and hopefully this is motivational, not demotivational, is that the number doesn't matter. The actual figure doesn't matter as much as how engaged and how much of a member of your community each person that makes up that subscriber base is. And if someone, and this is where the sub for sub stuff, I know you're not a fan of this, I'm not a fan of
mm,
this. If you go onto these forums and they're like, hey, you subscribe to me and I'll subscribe to you, I very politely say, thanks, but no thanks. Your content doesn't interest me. And I think some
mm,
people hate me for saying that. But if you're a gamer, if you're doing Roblox videos, my kids may love you and I might suggest you to them, but I'm never going to watch your Roblox
mm.
videos. So if you come to me and say, hey, I just subbed to your channel, I make Roblox videos, will you sub to mine? My answer will be a definitive no, because I would be doing you an absolute disservice by subscribing to your channel. Am I harsh? Am I a horrible human for doing that, Sarah?
No, not at all. I agree with it. When, I get comments from people who were like, I just subscribed to your channel. Please subscribe back. And at first I would ignore it, but lately I've been like responding with, this is not the way to get
Yeah.
growth. And they're like, oh, really? What is? And it's like, not what you're doing right now. Like, no, I'm not going to subscribe just because you demanded that I do that. Like, that's not how it works. Like, do I like your content? Do I think it's valuable? Do I want to see more of your stuff? That's the criteria, not, hey, you need to return the favor. And I've had so many people do that. And I was like, stop it. I want to smack you in the hand. Like, stop doing
Right.
that.
Yes, yes. If you like me, if you appreciate that I subscribe to you, you'll subscribe to me. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. And I feel bad because they're not doing something wrong. I think it's just a lack of understanding of how things work. And that's why I
Yes.
will keep harping on with this. I will keep pushing it. So. All right, that's our midpoint motivation. Hello to some folks who've snuck their way in here. Hello to Patrick over at the GarageBand Guide. Patrick is another amazing creator. It's on his lunch break. See, I said to Sarah beforehand, we get a different crowd here because both Sarah and myself usually live stream in the morning our time. That's
Mm.
why I'm sounding a little bit huskier than I usually am. I don't have quite the energy, but it's been the end of a day for us here. But yeah, it's great because we can do this in the evening for our Australian friends, and it's actually at a time where our UK and European friends can actually be around, including Marcus Cannell. Hello to you, who's just stumbled in. Hopefully, he just got home from the pub. No,
I
no,
was going to
no.
say, is he drunk?
It's midnight. Because I know Marcus is in there in Europe, Europe or the UK as well. Hello to Autism Rocks, who I saw just drop in here as well. There you are. Hello to you, Autism Rocks, Autism Singer, and Arnie G is here as well. So Arnie G's up there in Norway. So we've got folks from all around the place, everywhere. We've got a harsh question. Oh, I like this. Orchestra
Oh.
Eclipse says, maybe a harsh question, Pete. You have 90,000 subscribers, but you get around 1,000 views per video. What does that say about your sub and view ratio? This is an interesting one, and I'm happy to talk
Mm.
about this because it's an interesting one that I'll just open up because I'm an open book here about this sort of stuff. So
Yep.
we'll move back into the monetization stuff in a minute. But because the questions come out here, yeah, I know that a lot of I've heard Nick Nimmin and Dee Nimmin. I've heard a lot of creators talk about this. The whole how many subscribers you have versus how many views you get,
Mm-hmm.
and the natural logic says, Pete, if you've got 90,000 subscribers and only 500 to 1,000 people watch each video, does that mean 89,000 of your subscribers hate you and are not going to watch anything? And here's the
That's
thing,
horrible.
I right. So I produce daily content, and I
Mm.
also produce content across a number. So whilst everything is about music and mostly mobile music creation and mostly creator related things, I also have what is as close to a variety channel as I'll ever do. So
Mm-hmm.
whilst I don't have a variety channel, I'm not like talking about surfing one day and music the next. It's all music, and some people will love that. About 10%, or in my case, maybe 1 to 2% of people will love everything and will watch everything I do. About 10% of people will watch most things, and then the remaining 90% of people will pick and choose.
Yes.
I produce too much content for everyone to watch everything,
Yep.
and that's absolutely okay. And because I do 8 to 9 videos a week, there's no way that anyone can watch 10 hours of content from my channel per week. My wife doesn't even watch any of my content per week. I don't even watch my own stuff that much. So that's the way it kind of works. And Sarah, someone could probably make the same comment to you. Have you had that question before? Are
I get that
you
comment
happy to answer that?
often. I
Yeah.
get that comment as well. It's like, oh, you've got 30,000 subscribers, but
Mm.
only, a couple hundred views per video. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, but my content is evergreen.
Yeah.
And, I understand that not
That's it.
everyone wants to watch a Canva tutorial. Some people want to live stream, don't care about creating images with Canva or content with Canva. Some people
Mm.
who live stream, aren't interested in the other tutorials that I do about making money on YouTube. And like, I'm okay with that because for the most part, I know that I optimize my content and
Yep.
that it will be found by people in the search engines eventually, which is why subscribers don't matter. Like, they really don't matter as
Yeah.
much as people think they do.
100%, and I like that you said that word evergreen. Sorry, get rid of that midpoint motivation. That word evergreen is so important because what Sarah and I create is content that doesn't go out of style. So if you compare us to a Mr. Beast, and I'd love to compare us to Mr. Beast, but if you compare us to Mr. Beast, I don't know what Mr. Beast's ratio are, but let's say that he has 20 million subscribers. He's got something like that. It's probably more than that now, and maybe he gets 5 million views. You're like, wow, 25% of Mr. Beast viewers watch every video, and only 1 or 2 or 5% of Pete and Sarah's viewers. Yeah, that's because Mr. Beast creates content that is not evergreen. Like
Mm,
some of it, you could argue that, yeah, you'd watch that in the past, but it is content that you're just going to watch there right now. And vlogging is exactly that. So
yep.
if you're a vlog channel, people don't watch you in the first 48 hours, they're virtually never going to watch that because a vlog from a month or a year ago is just not relevant to anyone at any time. But your Canva tutorial from 3 years ago, there are still people discovering that. There are people that come to your channel, watch your 3-year-old Canva videos, subscribe to your channel, and then learn about live streaming, and then learn more
Mm.
things about Canva, and then start picking up tips. And the same for me. There's people that find a 5-year-old GarageBand video and go, oh, wow, this dude's like production quality is really poor, but he seems to know about GarageBand. And then I'm like, no, stick around. I'm better now. I actually have lights. And
And
then
I'm like,
they stick
please
around.
watch the updated tutorial. Don't look at that one
Right?
from 5
Don't
years, 3 years
don't watch
ago.
don't watch the old stuff. But that's the key thing here is that once you create evergreen content, then you've got it. And look, this is why. And again, come back to the monetization stuff. But if you're a musician and all you're doing is just putting out music, like if you put out a music clip and a song, that's probably not super evergreen. I mean, it is because people are going to go back to it. But if you can somehow incorporate some how-tos, some tutorials,
Mm.
some behind the scenes, some other content that's going to complement that music about how you actually did it, then that's going to really help you out. We've got one of our moderators on the channel here, Thomas Christ, has just started doing that. He does a weekly live stream. He releases his own music. He's done like 16 albums. He's an absolute prolific creator.
It's
And he's
fantastic.
just started doing some behind the song stuff. And if he starts releasing videos about how he actually creates his music, how he records it, how he releases it, you can bet your bottom dollar that they're the videos that people are going to start discovering from past. So he'll put them out now, and in a year's time, someone's going to go, "Wow, I really like this Thomas Christ guy because I just saw his video from his behind the scenes about how he created this really cool effect on this one song." And that, I think, is the key here, is that it's less about that whole, wow factor of right now. And, if a subscriber's not watching your video, you're doing badly, to, hey, if you put something out there, some of them are, and let's be honest, some are just going to flop.
Yep.
That's the other thing. Like I put out a video today. I thought it was a good video. I spent a lot of time on it. It got like 200 views. And you might say 200 views is good. And it is. And I'm fine with that. But you know what? That's a video about how to release onto multiple platforms. Maybe in 3 months' time, randomly, YouTube will pick that up and throw that on the homepage and 10,000 people will watch it. Or maybe it'll just go into oblivion and it never will. And that's okay. But I'm an ice hockey guy, and Wayne Gretzky famously once said, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." So if you don't put your video out there, and if you don't try, guess what? You're going to miss, and you're still going to miss if you shoot and miss a bunch of times. But eventually, you're going to get some goals. And I think Sorry, we went off on a weird tangent
We
on
did.
that one.
That's good, no, because I got that question quite often too, and I was like, it doesn't bother me as much as it seems to bother other people who feel like they need to bring it up.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll never be offended by it because it's not something that I'm ashamed of in any way, shape, or form. But it is different, and it depends on the type of content you're producing
Yes.
as to what proportion of your viewers will go there. So, yeah, and I think someone mentioned a bunch of people like Nick Nimmin and Dee Nimmin that we've mentioned before that are great resources, by the way. If you're looking for pure YouTube, like Sarah and I do a bit of it, we skirt the edges of the YouTube creator content. But if it's got a Nimmin in its name, it's probably going to give you really good content. Is my view on that. Why don't we circle back around, because we've got 20 minutes left and we still got to get to some hidden gems at the end of the
Yes, we
show.
do.
But let's go back on. So what do you got over on this right hand side? What's all
So on
this
the
about?
right-hand side, and I like that you talked about the guy who's now doing, behind the scenes of what he's actually, of his music, is digital offers and services. And I really feel that as a small creator, this is where you can make money, feel good about it, not be sleazy with, your fake Lamborghinis and girls in golden bikinis, and have a real value exchange. Pete loves the fake guru analogy.
You know I'm gonna rant on fake gurus, but yeah, no, continue.
And in particular with the digital services, like we don't have time to go through all of these in depth, but there's so many things that you can do, which once again, I feel like there's that exchange. So when there's an exchange of value for both, someone's paying you and you're helping someone, whether it's through coaching or to get through a process that you're further ahead of them with, whether it's creating music, whether it's creating content, whether it's whatever it is, that's a fair exchange. It's not sleazy, it's legitimate, right?
True.
So in my view, that's a legitimate way to make money. And in the digital space and the services space, I think these are the top ways to do it. Coaching, I think that, what was his name? I forgot his name. The guy we just talked about. Tom? Was it Tom?
Thomas Christ.
Thomas Christ. If Thomas Christ was to say, hey, I'm going to start offering some one-on-one coaching where I can walk you through the process of how to do what I do, I think that's legit. I think that's, a fair exchange and not gurus, hiring Mercedes-Benz's type of sleazy and legitimate way to make money. That's, I think definitely a very reasonable one as well. I think pre-purchase services, so where you package a service, whether it's, okay, for this fee, I will deliver this for you. And it could be a range of things, whether it's a consultation or whether it's a review or whether it's like a design package or, I'm making this up now, a music package, whatever it is.
I like it. Yeah.
I think, once again, non-sleazy, fair exchange of you giving value and people paying for it. Online programs, once again, I know this can fall into the gray area because there's lots of Connie overpriced programs out there, but I think there's definitely room and there's definitely people who do great online programs who help you learn how to do something in a succinct way that's really valuable. And these things are so easy to set up this day and age, particularly, compared to 10 years ago, that you don't need a lot of outlay to offer it, and that's the beauty of it. Then there's Done With You, which is kind of like your online programs, but there's an element of support to it. So they go through the online program, but you offer coaching, whether it's once a month or whether it's, they have access to you via email, whatever it is. Once again, exchange of value, non-sleazy way for smaller creators to make money.
I'm glad you clarified that, because done with you. I'm like, did we get to point four? And you're just like, nah, that's it. I give up. I'm done with
I'm
you.
done with you, Pete.
God, wow, that escalated quickly. What's going on?
And then there's mastermind. So with the course or with, the Done For You program, people are kind of going through a curriculum. Whereas with the mastermind group, you've got a group of people coming together, and it's more about accountability, and it's more about access to you than them following a rigid kind of program. So these are all, things that you as a creator can develop and offer that, I think most people can do as a small creator. And you don't need to qualify into the YouTube partner program. You don't need to, meet eligibility. You just need to be a bit crafty with getting these set up with how you do it and how you offer it. And, and Bob's your uncle. You can start making money legitimately as a small creator. And that's how I made money at the beginning. I offered prepackaged services. I offered one-on-one coaching, and I, worked really hard for the money that came through as well.
Yeah.
So I think these are the legitimate ways to do it.
Yeah, totally. And for those that are, because I know I'm talking to you, the person sitting there thinking, yeah, but not me. What do I have to offer? You would be surprised, because people will pay for convenience over going and trying to find everything. So the example I give is that, and you don't have to do it in a sleazy way. You don't have to be all sales funnel, because I'm the least sales funnel loving. As Sarah knows, I give her grief about things, because I'm the least sales funnel-y kind of person. Like, yes, I have a mailing list. Yes, I have a course now, but my course is $10. Like, I do everything the wrong way. But you'd be surprised. There are people that want your level of expertise and want your knowledge, and you don't have to be. I've said this about music teachers before, and I think it was a Simpsons joke where they said you just have to be one lesson ahead of the kid, and then you can be a teacher. You don't have to be a pro. And in fact, I would argue that in the world of music, the pros probably talk down too much on someone who's a beginner or an amateur. And sometimes someone who is just a working schmo like you and me is going to be able to impart more knowledge, because we've been there, done it. We've learned it ourselves. And if you've just learned something, it's actually the best position for you to teach it.
Yes.
The only reason this channel exists is that I started teaching people. And Sarah, without putting words in your mouth, you probably found the same thing. Did you learn how to live stream because you started live streaming and then you started teaching other people? Like, you weren't a live streaming pro from 20 years ago, I'm assuming.
No, I would have been like 10 years old.
I've just aged Sarah out really badly. It's a faux pas there. Right? Yeah, so no, you learn as you go, right? So I'm sure a lot of what you teach in your courses and what you teach when you're doing one-on-one coaching is what you've learned actually bloody doing it, yeah?
Yeah, I think like, particularly when I first started, I was doing a lot of social media training and social media tutorials, because I was learning how to do it so that I could do it for myself and for my clients, right? So it was kind of like, I'm just a couple of steps ahead. And now obviously I know a bit more than I did 7 years ago, but it's that, I know enough that I can confidently do it well, but I'm not, a veteran who's done it for 50 years, but I'm ahead enough that I can give value.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I would question people that tell you that they're a veteran or an expert. I think people that just know what they're doing and say, here's what I'm going to teach you and here's why I know how I'm doing it because I've learned it. I think that's so much more valuable than someone saying, oh, I've got all the knowledge. And what is it? Yeah, 21-year-old life coach is probably someone that you could avoid. Someone that's been live streaming for a week or a month, then maybe they're not the right person to be a live stream coach. But if you've been doing it for 7 years like Sarah, then yeah, you're in a position where you've made the mistakes. You've hit the hurdles, you've hit the pitfalls, you've done all the things. And that's going to be able to impart that knowledge onto other people as well. Did we cover all your 5, or did I totally cut you off on? Oh no, we did.
No,
I cut you off on the 4,
5.
but we got to your 5 as well. So that is all very cool. And I will pause it and mention here. I did have you up over here, and then I've lost you again because I'm really bad at this whole live streaming thing. I need to get a coach. There you are. So I can I can flick over to mine because I'm using my Thriving Creator mug here, and I wanted to point you to this one because if you are a creator and you want to get even more awesome tips like this, see, here's my beautiful transition over into a sales job. You can tell I came from a sales background, didn't you? So if you want to go and check this out, look at how many episodes have you done now, Sarah? This is like 17.
17.
That's insane. So yeah, you're crushing it out there with a whole bunch of podcasts. So do go over. All you need to do is go to sarahnewenonline.com, and then right at the top there, you've got the Thriving Creator podcast, and then you can subscribe, or just go to your podcatcher of choice. Go to Apple
Yep.
Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Search Thriving Creator, and you'll get that. Are you selling these yet, Sarah? I think people should buy these if they're
Oh
online, or
no,
are these
I'm not. I'm not.
exclusive? They're only for people that have been guests on the podcast. Is that
Well, I've
right? I
only
get
got
to.
like 10, so I can't sell them yet. I'll be like, oh
And with these,
no.
sorry, slight side thing here, but you made these with Canva, is that
I
correct? And they
did.
actually were printed, not printed, but created by Canva. Is that the deal?
Designed and printed by
Mm.
Canva.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it was all in one. And also, I was pretty impressed with the quality of it. I thought it
Yeah.
came out really nicely packaged and
This is where I knock on it and it just shatters.
and it was like, oh, except for
It's fine.
now.
I've been using it. I've been using it for like daily. My wife and myself have been using this for daily coffees for a good couple. I think I was on your podcast about a month ago, so I've had this for at least 4 or 5 weeks, and it is standing the test of time. So, if you want to learn more about Sarah and what she has going on, do head on over to Sarah Nguyen online, and her YouTube channel is of course down in the description that you can check out. But I'm not going to let you leave without giving us some hidden gems, Sarah. So last time you were on here, you gave some amazing services and some pretty cool stuff. So what do you got for us today in terms of
Okay,
hidden
so
gems?
we've got two. So I'll talk about the new one first,
Ooh.
because I'm just trying this out. But I was, those things where you're like, it can't be that good, and then you try it and you're like, damn it.
And it's good.
It's actually pretty good, and I'm still only a couple days into my free trial, but
Ooh.
it's a service called. I'm still a bit confused by what they called, whether they're called Conversion AI or Jarvis
Ooh.
AI. They seem to be called both. Anyway, the
Right.
URL is Jarvis AI.
Am I popping this on the screen? Is this
Yep,
what we have
popping it
here?
on the
Yep. All right.
screen.
Nice. Okay.
And I'm a content person. I develop content professionally. I write content for everything. So I was a bit like, can this AI really write content better than me? And the answer is
Oh.
yes. Yes, it
Well, I
can.
was going to say you, maybe not me. Yes, I'm listening with both ears because I'm terrible at writing content. So yes, what does it do?
So, they've got a 5-day free trial and
Okay.
just a crash course of how you would use it. They've got like all these templates, as you can see here, for writing various things, from blog posts to they've got some content frameworks. They've got some video templates here. So let's have a play with the YouTube
Ooh.
script hook and introduction and
Oh, I like
see
this.
how
Live
well this
demos.
AI writes a script hook and introduction. Right, so you select their template, and this is clearly one I tested so that it would
Yeah.
work on the live demo. So you have the title of your video here. And this one I'm doing how to use Canva to create an Instagram post, because that's something that I may or may not have done. I've done so many Canva tutorials. I think I have, maybe.
Probably
I'm pretty
have.
sure I have. I'm pretty sure I have. Anyway, so I want them to write the introduction and the hook to the video. You can set the tone of voice, whether you want it to be formal, angry, if you want to be angry. How to write an Instagram post.
What's wrong with you and your Instagram posters? You suck. Wait, what?
I'm
What's
going to
going
leave it as witty, which is the default one. And I'm going to let this AI generate the content, and let's see what they come up with.
on? Drum roll, please. I like this. I love live demos because nothing could possibly go wrong.
So
All
they're
right,
giving
what
me
does it say?
2 options here. The first one is, in this video, I'm going to show you how to use Canva.com
Service it on that.
and create an Instagram post with some text, a logo, and cool graphics. Hi, my name is Enter Name, and in this tutorial, we're going to go over the basics of using Canva on your computer or mobile device so that you can make awesome posts like these for your own account. I think that's pretty good.
That's solid. I mean, yeah, I'm not disappointed by that. I thought it would be like Canva is good for you. Make good things. You
Now,
make
here's
good
what I
things
did
now.
earlier, which did make me laugh a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So this was another version
Gonna
that they
fail.
had of it. It wasn't too bad. It just wasn't my tone of voice. Hi, my name is Sarah, and I want you to know that if you're a designer looking for a quick, easy way of making some dope graphics for social media,
Can I try it? Yo, my name's Pete Johns, and if you're looking for some ways to make some dope graphics for your social media, you got to stick around. Hit that subscribe bell, ring the notification bell, and let's go. All right. Sorry, does that work? No.
so, it may need an edit, but I think, the fundamentals are there. And I was pretty impressed with that. I was like, you know what? Like, that's not a bad
Yeah.
first, get some words on the
good.
page for you to cull down and adapt to your tone of voice. Like,
You know what? If you were 10 years younger and I was 20 years younger, then that would probably be fine. I just don't think I could use the word dope without it sounding weird, but that's okay.
no. Anyway, so and there's
love
lots
it.
of different templates. This was the video hook and introduction. They've got a whole bunch of stuff for like video titles, email subject lines, blog posts. And I was like, this has been good so far. I think particularly if you know how long it takes to optimize your YouTube videos and to get that description, this can help just get those words and pump them out. And I'm like, oh, I really like that. I hate that. I like that.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, no, I'm in. I'm all in. So
Still needs a
5-day free
human
trial
edit,
each
as you see some dope graphics in there.
Dope
But
graphics, some awesome. I would use awesome because again, I'm a child of the '90s. I'm not of the noughties, so dope doesn't sound right coming out of my face. But yeah, I like it though. Yeah, a little mild edit. But again, just the wording, because again, if you don't know, you don't know, and it could give you. Maybe I should say dope more. Maybe you should say dope more.
maybe
that could be
it's
a new
us.
thing.
Maybe it's us.
I like it. So what was that one called? Sorry, for folks who want to check it out.
Um, this is where I said I was
It's called many things. Scott Grice says that's pretty dope. Yes.
Jarvis.ai.
Jarvis.
Yeah.
Jar.
Jarvis.ai.
Jarvis.ai. Okay, so for folks who are interested in some dope copywriting, go to Jarvis.ai and let Jarvis write your product listing, your dope product listings, and your dope SEO content. Oh, I hope it doesn't do SEO content that's like the old school SEO content that used to just like be a bunch of keywords in a big paragraph, because that would be bad. But I like it. I like any use of this. And look, they've got Canva, Shopify, Airbnb, Google, Zillow, Verizon, AT&T. I've got to the wrong one, haven't I? There you go.
That was me. That's my fault.
No, that's okay. There you go. I put it onto the wrong one.
Okay.
But yeah, I was showing this before. I'm like, oh, look at all the cool companies they have. And then I showed you getting yourself ready there. What do we got? We got 3 minutes left. Anything else you wanted to share? Did you have another hidden gem that we can
We
sneak
do.
into
So
the bar?
last time I was on the show, Pete John's show, I talked about Descript, and they are a really
did.
cool editing software that allows you to edit your audio and your video by editing the text, which we thought was pretty cool.
It was
So I'm still using them. I am not sponsored by them. Find them very, very good. And I'm pretty sure I edit all of my podcasts with them. Last time I showed you them, there was still stuff where they did majority of the heavy lifting of your editing, but you still needed to kind of tune the sound and do a couple of things in another software. So what they're coming up with in the next week, like you guys are the first to know. So they're doing a couple of things. So the first thing that they're releasing is they're calling it Studio Sound. So it's one-click background removal and like equalizing and magical podcasty sound. So the aim of that is that you can record even directly into Descript and with one click
Jeebus.
get that studio sound. Studio sound, as you know, Pete, can be...
I mean, my iPhone says it has studio quality sound, so I mean, yeah, it's always a little bit iffy. But yeah, I like that. I like the concept. I like the idea, and anything that speeds up your workflow
Yes.
is a good thing. And are you still editing your podcast? Were you playing around with editing your podcast on this? Is that
Yes, so I
am I
edited my podcast with this because I can do it
sweet?
while like multitasking and watching TV, and I like the idea of doing that. So
Yeah.
that's the one cool feature that they've got coming next week, and they've got another feature. Well, it's an existing feature of theirs, but it's good old deep fake
Oh,
voice overdub.
now you mentioned this. What the heck is this? This sounds amazing. And sorry, I'll just quickly say that we do have because I do want to mention that our buddy Mike over at Creative Source is starting in about 2 minutes time with his featured artist live. But that's okay. I just wanted to prepare folks for that. But we're going to finish off over here because I want to learn about this deep fake stuff because I'm a little bit worried slash intrigued. What is this all about?
So with this, when you're editing your podcast, you edit it by text, right? So if you see like a mistake, you can cut it out and it'll cut it out in the audio. But sometimes you need to replace that text. And when you type in that text, it will fill it with your own voice. Now you have to do some pre-work. You have to read their very specific scripts to like train the machine that to use your voice, and you have to input that yourself.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's
I
pretty cool.
yeah, I'm going to put it out there right now and say, if you would like me to try this out, because I kind of want to do this. I think we
Do
need to do an
it.
entire video and
Yes.
try and make it learn how to speak like me, because that would be cool. Can it say "Let's go" at the end of its intro? I don't know. We'll
Yes,
find
yes, it
out.
can. So you get 1,000 words. There's a script for you to say like 1,000 words, which is more than enough the majority of people need, particularly for this type
Yeah.
of thing. And
Wow.
it currently exists, so it's nothing, secret and new, but they're rolling it out to all of their plans, including the free one as of next week. So I'm like, oh, that's amazing.
Next week, okay, all right. Well, mark your calendars because, yeah, I will. I'll definitely be checking that out because that is so cool. You see, last time you brought Descript, and I said to Sarah in the pre-show, I'm like, you told me about this, and I'm like, that's so cool. I'm gonna go check it out. No, totally didn't check it out. Totally forgot about it until she said, hey, they got a new feature. It's like a deep fake voice thing, and I'm like, that's cool because you know what people are gonna do. You know what the musician community is gonna do, Sarah? They're
Oh.
gonna grab famous musicians and try and program it so it can sing like Freddie Mercury. You know, that's what's going to happen now. That's the next thing. They're going to like try and make it do voices of people that aren't them.
I believe people will try to do that. I think they countered that by having like there's a very specific script that you need to read.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
so you
So
can't
it can't,
just
yeah. So I can't
can't
have Sir
Freddie
Paul
Mercury
McCartney
it.
saying,
No.
you should totally come and, that was the worst Liverpudlian accent as well. You should totally come and listen to Pete Johns at Studio Live today. That sounded more like Ringo Starr. Um, Speaking of
So
people that people should come and listen to, Sarah, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the channel as per always. Where can people go? Oh, well, we've already told them. Like I know that. Don't you hate it when you get to the end of something and people say, "Where can people go to check out what you do?" When it's already linked in the description and we've already talked about it the entire show. But can people go to YouTube and check out your channel? Is that something
they
you
sure
do?
can. So I'm there, Sarah Nguyen. You can find me on YouTube. And my website is Sarah Nguyen Online, where you can find all the content that I do produce,
Nice.
which is both the podcast and all the YouTube channel stuff.
Including the Thriving Creator podcast, which I do recommend that you get on. And if you're lucky enough to be a guest on there, then you get a mark. So
You do get a
that's
mug.
that is a cool thing. Yeah, that was not even Ringo. That was a terrible impression.
Groundskeeper Willie.
That was a
like-
bad. I know the community here are like, Pete, we banned you from doing accents like several weeks ago. Sound like Stewie and Family Guy. He probably did. Curses, woman. I don't know. I don't even know what Stewie said. We've gone over time because, as I mentioned before, a fellow Australian creator, and look, we can. What do they call this? A live look-in, where you can like look over to someone else. My friend Mike over at Creative Source is live right now. There you go. He's live right now over there. So hang on. He was coming into my feed there, but I've just put a link here into the chat. So he's just starting. He's doing a great new show called Featured Artist Live. I'm a guest on there next week, so I'll be on Featured Artist Lives at this time next week. But if you're watching this one live, jump over there. If you're watching on the replay, Go and check it out as well. Of course, if you're watching on the replay, check it out after you've gone to
Oh, thanks
Sarah's YouTube channel
again.
and subscribe. But as we said in our midpoint, only if you're going to watch her videos. Don't be a
Exactly.
bad subscriber. Be a good subscriber. Subscribe and then watch everything that Sarah produces. Do you have any parting words for our wonderful community here, Sarah?
I always love being on the Pete John show. Love the crowd.
Totally going to be
Love
called that now.
the Pete John show. I'm glad to be able to just be a part of it, share my stuff, and interact with you guys. So thanks for having me. I always love joining the show.
Thank you. Thank you for staying up late because we're usually doing stuff in the morning. So thank you for being here. And thank you to all of you. As we say at the end of every show, please be kind to yourselves. There's a lot of crud going on around the world. So you need a little bit of self-care every now and then. Be kind to other people because that's the way we all get along. We're having a society here after all. And keep creating and keep making money from your creations. Thank you to Sarah for being here. Thank you all for being here. And we'll see you next time right here on the show. Bye for
Bye.
now.